how do we take all these concepts that you just shared with us and actually put them into action? Like, where do we go from here?
All right, so here's the kicker. Recognize the good and the bad. The bad is that these banks that we currently bank with have been literally oppressing African Americans and the African diaspora for decades, centuries. If you want to fact check me, feel free to go back to episode 1. But also recognize the good. The good is that we are already economically empowered. How? We spend trillions of dollars every year as a community. Now, with that same trillions of dollars, recognize the plethora of Black-owned businesses and celebrate them, uplift them, elevate them. Recognize that we have Black-owned alternatives that can be put in place for when we vacate and when we leave these oppressive corporations and institutions. Next, strategize. Come up with a plan. Don't just buy Black for a week, a month. Those are great. But come up with a plan to buy Black comprehensively, to buy Black holistically across the board and for long term. Example, you go to a Black-owned restaurant for brunch with 3 other friends. If the 4 of you drop $80 each, including the tip, right? Y'all having a good old time with them bottomless mimosas, all right? So you feel good about dropping that $300 bill at a Black-owned business. But throughout the rest of your week, you're stopping at the grocery store to pick up some bread or some toothbrushes. You just copped you a brand new kitchen appliance, or maybe you bought some brand new kicks. Maybe you stopped at the liquor store on your way home and you spend it all with your local bank debit card. Maybe snap a couple pictures on the gram to post all your new products. And lastly, you go back to that same restaurant the following Sunday to eat brunch with your friends. Now, that $300 bill y'all dropped last week pales in comparison to the weeks long worth of spending you spent outside of the community. All right, so talk to me, Ben. How do we supplant this? Step 3, mobilize. Make the switch. This is my favorite part, y'all, because for every product I just referenced, there exists a Black-owned alternative. Let's just run it back. Let's go.
But throughout the rest of your week, you're stopping at the grocery store to pick up some bread or some toothbrushes. You just copped you a brand new kitchen appliance. Maybe you bought some brand new kicks. Maybe you stopped at the liquor store on your way home and you spend it all with your local bank debit card. Maybe snap a couple pictures on the gram to post all your new products.
And lastly, you go back to that same restaurant the following Sunday to eat brunch with your friends. Last but not least, we revolutionize. We create this loop of encouraging each other to change how we spend and innovating how we think. We are changing our community as we know it. We are actively, consciously pursuing economic interests so that we can secure our financial future. When we own